Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I just got back from a trip up to the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. Took the RV about eight hours north, about 500 miles, just short of 500 miles north. And we went on our annual trip up to the UP, up to this like old log cabin that my in-laws have, and spent some time. Now in the years past, I've always brought different cameras. Sometimes it's point and shoot, sometimes it's Micro Four Thirds, sometimes it's Fuji, whatever I'm feeling at the moment. And I document my kids. But this time it was a little bit different. And by the title that you clicked on, I ended up bringing a different camera this time, which is this bad boy right here, the Canon R6 Mark II. Now I'm just trying this out. And the reason why I'm trying this out is because on my trip up there, I had my niece who was interested in some senior portraits that we were going to shoot while we were up there. And in my previous videos talking about Fuji and the autofocus issues that I've been having, was me testing at home a little bit, autofocus continuous. And the reason why that's so important to me, or was so important to me, was because of this right here. Let me show you 4 pictures that I took, and I'll show you why they are important for me. Ready? Here's the 4 pictures. All right, so the first 2 pictures that I showed you, or I think I showed you, I haven't edited the video yet, was kind of my real concern with autofocus. And I'm not saying the Fuji couldn't do it, but I wasn't confident. So in particular, when I shoot photos, senior portraits, for example, especially girls, I don't pose them and then tell them to hold a pose. I mean, I do some of that stuff for sure, but some of the stuff I try to catch natural fluid movement. So in prior portraits, I've had like the girl walk through a field, head down, I'll tell her like, look up, look at the camera, and I'm just firing photos. And I'm looking for that one moment where like the sun's hitting her face and they're making eye contact with the camera. And it's got like that real natural look, because what I find when I shoot senior portraits, sometimes it just looks really, really staged and you can tell. And I don't know, mom and dad might like that, but I try to also do a bit more fluid stuff. So the photos I showed you, in one of them, it was them walking away and then turning like this. And I needed, like this camera's doing now, I needed to trust the autofocus to capture the eye accurately, crisply, and to have kind of the smarts to know that the back is turned to me and this is the head. And so the Canon R6 Mark II, along with Sony stuff and maybe Nikon now, maybe even Lumix now, I don't know, was totally up to the job for that. And so I shot the R6 Mark II with the 85mm f2 lens, this bad boy right here, and it did a tremendous job. And so largely, I'm trying to tell you, I picked the R6 Mark II for this job, if you will, to kind of have a bit more confidence around what I think Fuji might not be great at. In saying that now, hindsight, I'm kind of wondering how the Fuji would have done. But the net results of the whole thing is that I was absolutely impressed with the R6 Mark II. It's autofocus. The pictures are super tack sharp. The eye is always in focus. No issues whatsoever. And so I took these photos of the R6 Mark II, and I'm very, very happy with the results. Now, the other piece that played a large part in this, and I don't have it with me right now, I'll just show you. This is a Nikon version, was flash. Now, typically, I've always shot senior portraits in the past, natural light, and I didn't use flash because on camera flash looks very harsh. It's like shooting right down at you. I've used reflectors to kind of, light the face up. But this time I used off-camera flash. So I put a Godox trigger on top of the R6 Mark II. I put my flash up on a light stand. I used manual flash. And that picture you see of me, of the one where the girl's walking, my niece, and she's turning and it's all glowy and kind of yellow, that photo was highly underexposed. It was exposed for the sun in the background. And without the flash, that image would not have looked anything like it did. I told her to turn right in a certain spot where the flash was hitting, and then boom, we hammered off a couple of shots, and I got that moment, and the flash lit her up in a very, I think, pleasing and natural way, but allowed the colors and the sun to come in from the background, and it worked really, really well. And because the Canon was really good at the autofocus, that image was highly underexposed. And I don't know, because I had underexposed the person, because I was exposed for the background, to make the flash look natural to match the exposure of the background. Does that make sense? And so like as she's walking and the camera's tracking autofocus, it's highly underexposed. And then when the flash goes, it looks like it's properly exposed, if that makes sense. And so the biggest improvement I can say to my images on this day, and there's many, many, many more of them, was the use of off-camera flash. It just made the skin pop and the eyes pop and you know, brought a crispness to the retinas and everything. It looked really, really good. So that made a big difference. I guess that's my second finding. The third thing is, and this was something more when I got home, because you guys are probably wondering what are my thoughts on the R6 Mark II. Tremendous camera. Go buy one. I know the Mark III is rumored to be coming out soon. Whatever. Everything at this stage of photography is incremental upgrades. It's a great camera. However, there's a positive, bunch of positives, the R6 Mark II, and one big negative. And the positives much were around ergonomics. The ergonomics of this camera are the best of any camera out there, period, full stop. With the exception of maybe Olympus's OM1, EM1 series. I think those are fantastic. And I'm so familiar with Fuji's button layout, like those become second nature, so I have kind of a bias towards that. But the ergonomics are awesome in your hand. It's just like so comfortable, incredibly comfortable. So that's fantastic. My beef with Canon, or this Canon camera, or any Canon camera, has to do with the way I kind of shoot outside of like paid jobs. When I got home, I offloaded the cards last night. I didn't even realize until I did this. I offloaded all the pictures for the portraits, and then I think I just got cut off. Anyways, as I was saying, there are barely any photos. And the reason for that is because this thing's big. And you put an 85 f2 or a 35 1.8 on this, and you realize that it's just not fun to carry around. And I, throughout the entire trip, was missing my XT5 with like the little 27 on it. Or like an XE3 or XE4 would be great. An Olympus OM5 or whatever, EM5 Mark II, Mark III. I was missing something like that because that's more of my documentary style. And so what was interesting about this is like, I realized quickly that this is amazing sports, portrait, wedding, any kind of photography I might get paid to do, like this would be the camera. But then I missed my Fuji. And so I'm at the dilemma of, do you buy this camera, hold on to it, and keep it in the background for many, many, many years for paid jobs? Or do you buy a couple nicer lenses for the Fuji and flashes for this and just use this for all purpose and become kind of, again, one with the camera and get to know it really, really well? That's kind of my debate at the end of this whole thing. Am I going to keep the Canon? Because I don't shoot professionally a ton. I just do it once in a while. Or am I going to try to make Fuji my one and done? But yeah, so a couple findings, right? Like Fuji's autofocus issues caused me to try Canon. That's step one. Step two, the Canon did tremendous. Canon's awesome. I mean, the fact that you can get an 85 f2 for $600 brand new and put it on that body, like that's a tremendous lens and body combo. Awesome. Canon colors are great. I would say out of camera, they're not as good as Fuji, but editing wise in Capture One, they edited it up super nice. That was like finding number 2 or 3 there. The third thing is flash, like learn lighting more than anything with a lens or whatever. You could take it a kit lens, learn lighting, because I tell you what, that flash changed the entire game. I should have learned off-camera flash quicker. I've always known how to do it. I just never gave it a try. And this time I did. Seriously, buy a body, buy a 51 point, whatever you want, 50 millimeter lens, and then go buy a flash with a remote trigger. That's like your third purchase. One body, one lens, remote. And the last thing is true to what I've already kind of known is the Canon's an awesome camera, but I enjoy picking this up far more than the Canon for some reason. And I would say that's the same for Olympus cameras and maybe even like Leica, you know, like this is more fun to carry and stuff like that. So I just wanted to report back to you guys kind of my findings on the R6 Mark II just for some portraits and how awesome it is. And how important lighting really is. And last but not least, I think having your camera be fun is really important because I didn't take many family photos this trip. I took some. Like, I'll put one up here at the end of the Northern Lights that I took. That was on the R6 as well, which is cool. So, I don't know. I just want to report back to you guys. I'm wondering if I should do more behind-the-scenes stuff. I didn't want to record while I was shooting those portraits. I just think I'm done with camera reviews. I don't know. They're all redundant now. They all work great, honestly, with nuance. They all do. I don't know. That's how I feel today. We'll see tomorrow. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.
He's gonna pull my rod. It's a giant bass. Dad, help me. Help me. Help me. Dad, help me. Help me.
Come on, buddy. Get it. Pull it up there. I'll get the net. Let's get it, baby. Ready? Woo! Look at that, baby. Look at that. You pumped about it?
Yes.
Look at this big guy. Oh.